Hey everyone, Graham here, your go-to Canadian for turning points into paradise. So here we are in 2025, and if you're anything like me, you've probably caught the travel bug even harder than before.
Ooh, I can't wait!
But here's the thing, I'm not shelling out big bucks for those business class seats or luxury hotel suites. Nope, I'm using miles and points, and my strategy has evolved quite a bit since my 2024 video. Quick heads up before we dive in, if any of the cards or programs I mentioned in today's video sound appealing to you, I'd really appreciate if you use my referral links in the description below to apply. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps support the channel so I can keep bringing you videos like this. In today's video, I'm going to break down my updated travel point strategy for 2025, including a fourth program I've added to my arsenal that's been an absolute game changer. Plus, I'll share some real redemptions I booked this year and give you my biggest warning about point strategy that's more important now than ever before. Ready to dive into the world of miles, points, and first class champagne? Let's get started. Why should you care about miles and points in 2025? Well, let me ask you this. How much would you pay for an $8,000 business class flight to Africa? If your answer is Graham, $8,000, you are actually doing it wrong. What if I told you that instead of paying cash, you could use points worth around $850 to book the exact same flight? That is the magic of miles and points. They're like cash, but better, because they can unlock high-end travel experiences that you would never want to pay for out of pocket. You can only really use them to pay for travel though, so maybe they're not actually better than cash. But what's changed since 2024? These opportunities are becoming more and more scarce. More people are getting into the points game, which means fewer award seats are available and higher redemption rates. This is why my biggest piece of advice for 2025 is what I call earn and burn. Don't hoard your points like they're going to appreciate in value, because they're not. Let me give you a real example that I just experienced. I'm looking at staying at the JW Masai Mara Safari Lodge in Kenya. A few years ago, you could book this incredible experience for about 450,000 Marriott Bonvoy points for 5 nights. Now, I'm looking at spending over 750,000 points for the exact same experience and the exact same amount of nights. That is a massive devaluation, and it's happening across the board. Now, points aren't just for the super rich or frequent flyers. They're surprisingly easy to earn once you know which points to collect and the best ways to do it. But the key is using them before they lose their value. Let me show you how. How to Earn Points 2025 edition. Credit cards, still the king. Let's start with the bread and butter of points collecting, credit cards. The easiest and fastest way to rack up points is still through welcome bonuses, and honestly, some of the offers we're seeing in 2025 are absolutely massive. All the major banks in Canada are practically throwing points at you to sign up for their cards. But here's the catch. You need to hit a minimum spend requirement within a certain time frame to get those points. So it's like a mini game. Spend wisely, hit the target, and boom, welcome bonus unlocked. Now, I am not saying that you should go on a wild spending spree. But if you're planning any big purchases, timing them with a new credit card signup can be a real game changer. I typically apply for 1 or 2 new cards per year and cancel 1 or 2 that I don't really have use for anymore. It's all about being strategic, not going crazy. Everyday spending, the slow and steady approach. Every time you tap that credit card, you're earning points. But remember, not all points are created equal. Some earn points, others give you cash back. And while cash back is cool, if you're into travel like I am, points are where it's at. They might rack up slower on everyday spending versus those big welcome bonuses, but over time they really do add up, especially if you're using the right cards, which I'll get into detail later. E-shopping, the sneaky points multiplier. Here's a sneaky way to earn even more points. E-shopping. Aeroplan still has this awesome portal where you can earn points just by shopping online. You don't even need an Aeroplan card, just a free Aeroplan account, and these points can pile up fast, especially during big promotions. Pro tip, keep an eye out for 5x or even 10x points events. I recently snagged thousands of Aeroplan points just by buying some furniture and clothes during their Amazon Prime Days event. It's like getting paid to shop, what's not to love? Fair warning though, the Aeroplan e-store still isn't perfect. Sometimes your points might not track properly, so I still screen record my entire checkout process just in case. Flying, the traditional route. And of course, there's the old school way, flying. Airlines like Air Canada will give you Aeroplan points for flying with them. But unless you're flying long haul in premium cabins, or you're a jet-setting maniac, this might not be your fastest route to racking up those points. Even I earn most of my points through credit cards and strategic spending, and I literally named my channel The Canadian Jetsetter. But if you're already flying, why not collect those points too? Which points to collect 2025 update. Alright, so you're into earning points, but which ones should you be collecting? In 2025, I've actually expanded my strategy to 4 core programs, and the 4th one has been a total game changer. My top programs are Amex Membership Rewards, RBC Avion, Air Canada Aeroplan, and new for 2025, Marriott Bonvoy points. Let me explain why these programs are still my favorites and why I added Marriott to the mix. The power of transferable and variable value points. These programs are either transferable or variable value, which is super important. Transferable points can be converted from one type to another. For example, Amex Membership Rewards can transfer to 6 different airline programs, including 2 of my favorites for Canadians, Air Canada Aeroplan and British Airways Avios. Remember, you don't need to fly just those airlines like Air Canada or British Airways. You can get access to all of their partner airlines in their broader alliances as well. These Amex points transfer at either a 1-to-1 or 1-to-0.75 rate, depending on the program. RBC Avion also transfers to British Airways Avios at a 1-to-1 rate and routinely has 30% transfer bonuses. You can seriously boost your points account fast this way. I'm speaking from experience here. Variable value points, on the other hand, aren't tied to a specific cash value. Instead, programs like Air Canada Aeroplan or British Airways Avios have their own booking systems, which is where you can really unlock some insane value. We're talking about 85,000 points for a $6,000 flight. I've done this, and it's like winning the travel lottery, but you can do it over and over again. The new addition, Marriott Bonvoy. Now, here's what's new for 2025. I've added Marriott Bonvoy to my core strategy, and honestly, it's been a revelation. I've been going absolutely ham with my Canadian Amex Marriott Bonvoy card, earning that massive welcome bonus of points while prioritizing all my hotel stays through Marriott properties to earn 5x points on all of my stays. Here's the beautiful part. Through my Amex Platinum card, I automatically get gold status at Marriott Bonvoy properties. But now I've organically earned titanium status with Marriott Bonvoy, which comes with incredible perks like suite upgrades, late checkout, and bonus points on every stay. I'm targeting a super high value redemption with these points that I'm earning. It's either going to be one of the Marriott Safari hotels like the JW or Ritz-Carlton Masai Mara Safari Lodge, or a Maldives overwater bungalow. These are the kind of experiences that would cost $1,000 plus per night in cash, but with points they become accessible. The reason I focus on these 4 programs is that they're surprisingly combinable. Amex points can transfer to Aeroplan, British Airways Avios, or Marriott Bonvoy. So you can book with Star Alliance, One World, or book an amazing hotel suite. And Amex and RBC Avion both transfer to British Airways at favorable rates. So you've got maximum flexibility and combinality, which isn't a word, but it should be. Which cards to earn points 2025 recommendations. Now let's talk about the cards themselves. These are my top picks for maximizing your points in 2025. I own and use a lot of these cards personally, and I'll have referral links with the current offers for each of these in the description below. Amex Membership Rewards. Amex Gold Card. This is my new top recommendation, and here's why. The welcome bonus right now is absolutely ginormous and on until August 18th, 2025. I'm actually even recommending this card over the Amex Cobalt, which has typically been my favorite card to recommend to family and friends. The current elevated offer makes this an incredible value play. The Gold Card gives you solid earning rates across multiple categories and access to the flexible membership rewards program. It's like the sweet spot between earning power and annual fee. Perfect for people who want premium benefits without the premium price tag. Amex Cobalt. This is still an incredible card for everyday spending because it earns 5 times points on food, grocery, restaurant, and even food delivery. No other card in Canada offers this earning rate combined with the power of their points. This is still my #1 pick for a daily spending card. Amex Platinum. This card is still known for its luxurious perks, airport lounges, travel and dining credits, and massive welcome bonuses. Yes, the annual fee is high, but if you love travel perks like I do, it can be worth every penny. Plus, it gives you that automatic Marriott Gold status that I mentioned earlier. Amex Marriott Bonvoy. This is my new secret weapon. I've been absolutely crushing it with this card, earning 5x points on Marriott stays and working towards those incredible Safari and Maldives redemptions I mentioned. RBC Avion. For RBC Avion, my go-to is still the RBC Avion Visa Platinum card. Avion points are fantastic because of these transfer bonuses I mentioned earlier. We continue to see great 30% transfer bonuses to British Airways Avios, as well as other recent transfer bonuses to American Airlines and Cathay Pacific Asia Miles. This can really turn a decent welcome bonus into an incredible one. Air Canada Aeroplan. If you're an Air Canada flyer, it is awesome to have an Aeroplan rewards card. My pick for a mid-level card would be the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card. It's packed with perks like free checked bags, elevated Aeroplan point earn rate, and a solid welcome bonus of points. Plus, it's always great to have a Visa as a backup to an American Express card. If you want high-end perks and a ton of points, there's also the Amex Aeroplan Reserve. It comes with some amazing Air Canada specific perks like unlimited Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge access, priority boarding, priority services, and a bunch more. My 2025 bookings. Now let's talk about how I'm putting my points to use in 2025. I've got some epic trips lined up, and these examples show exactly what's possible when you execute this strategy properly. Africa Adventure, the multi-program masterpiece. I'm planning an incredible Africa trip, and the way I've structured this booking showcases exactly why having multiple points programs is so powerful. I'm getting there on Aeroplan points. For the outbound journey, I used Aeroplan points and booked Toronto to Cairo on Egypt Air for 70,000 points in lie-flat business class. I then booked a stopover in Cairo for 5,000 additional Aeroplan points so I can explore Egypt. Then I was able to add on another business class flight with Air Egypt from Cairo to Nairobi for an extra 20,000 Aeroplan points. Normally that flight would cost 45,000 points, but by combining it all into one booking, I got it for less. So the total was 95,000 points one way from Canada to Kenya with 2 business class segments and a stopover in Cairo. Getting home, Qatar Airways from Kilimanjaro to Montreal. I booked this for 85,000 Avios points. To get these points, I utilized RBC Avion to British Airways transfer bonus of 30%. I also used some American Express points that I transferred at a 1-to-1 rate to top up to get a total of the 85,000 Avios points I needed. This redemption is going to be incredible. I'm in their regular business class from Kilimanjaro to Doha, an 8-hour stopover in Doha to enjoy the incredible business class lounge, and then Qatar Air Q suites from Doha back to Canada. This flight would have easily cost over $6,000 in cash. Instead, I used 85,000 airline points. The hotel component, Marriott Bonvoy Magic. Now for the Cairo stopover, I'm using my Canadian Amex Marriott Bonvoy card's free night award plus 7,000 extra points to book a stay at the Marriott Mena House in Cairo. This is the hotel with incredible views of the pyramids. It typically costs over $450 a night to stay there, so getting it for essentially free plus a tiny amount of points is so much fun. Where things really get exciting is the safari portion of this trip. I'm using a giant stash of Bonvoy points that I built up through strategic earning, plus I took advantage of a rare transfer bonus that Amex Canada offered from membership rewards points to Marriott Bonvoy points. I now have enough for a 5-night safari stay, and of course I'm doing exactly 5 nights, because when you book 5 nights on points at Marriott properties, you only pay for 4. That's Marriott's Stay 5 Pay 4 benefit, essentially a 20% discount on long stays. These slightly complex high-value bookings are only possible when you understand how these programs work and you're willing to put in the time to research and find the points availability. It's not easy, but it is absolutely possible. The strategy behind these bookings. What I love about these bookings is that they demonstrate the core principle of my 2025 strategy. I'm sticking to redeeming my travel points for long-haul business class flights because this is by far the best value you get for your redemptions. There is a lot of work that goes into figuring out which destinations are possible, what time frames work, and what airlines offer the best value, but this is the way to go in my opinion. We're talking about experiences that would cost $10,000 plus in cash, made accessible through strategic points earning and smart redemptions. The biggest warning for 2025. Now, before you get too excited, I need to share my biggest warning for 2025, and it's more important than anything else I've told you today. Don't hold your points for too long. As more and more people get into maximizing their travel points, fewer and fewer opportunities are available for super high value redemptions. I gave you this example earlier about the JW Masai Mara going from 450,000 points to over 700,000 points for the same experience. This isn't unique and it's happening everywhere. Airlines are implementing dynamic pricing, hotels are adjusting their award charts, and premium redemptions are becoming harder to find. The sweet spots that made this hobby so incredible are slowly disappearing. My strongest recommendation is what I call earn and burn. Don't treat your points like a savings account that's going to appreciate in value. Treat them like a tool that loses value over time, because that's exactly what they are. When you see a good redemption opportunity, book it. When you have enough points for a trip you want to take it. Don't wait for the perfect redemption, because by the time you find it, it might cost 50% more points than it does today. This is a fundamental shift in strategy for me, even from just a few years ago. Advanced tips for 2025. Here are some advanced nuggets for those of you who are ready to take your points game to the next level. 1. Master the multi-program booking. Like my Africa trip example, learn to use multiple points programs for a single journey. This gives you flexibility and often better value than sticking to one program alone. 2. Status can be a game changer. My organic Marriott Titanium status has opened up incredible upgrade opportunities and bonus earning point potential. Don't just collect points, think about status too. 3. Transfer bonuses are your friend. Those 30% RBC Avion to British Airways bonuses can turn good deals into incredible deals. Always check for transfer promotions before moving points. 4. Book now, optimize later. If you see a good redemption, book it. You can always cancel and rebook if you find something better later, but you can never travel back in time and book a deal that's no longer available. 5. Diversify your earning. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Having points in multiple programs gives you options when award space is limited in one program. The reality check. Here's the reality check that no one wants to give you, but I will. This strategy requires work, research, and patience. Finding these incredible redemptions isn't easy. It takes time, effort, and sometimes a bit of luck. These aren't magic money machines. They're tools, really good tools, but tools nonetheless. If you carry balances on your credit cards, if you struggle with overspending, if you can't pay your balance in full every month, then focus on getting your financial house in order first. Points and miles are fantastic, but they're the cherry on top of a solid financial foundation, not the foundation itself. And also, this hobby can get really addictive. But hey, if you're going to have an addiction, it may as well be one that takes you around the world in style, right? Looking ahead, as we move through 2025, I expect to see continued pressure on award availability and potentially more devaluations. This makes the earn and burn strategy even more critical. I'm also watching for new opportunities, maybe new transfer partners, new airline alliance moves, or innovative redemption options. The points game is always evolving, and staying ahead of the curve is what separates the casual collectors from the true travel hackers. My plan is to continue focusing on these 4 core programs while being ready to adapt if new opportunities emerge. Flexibility and speed are going to be key skills for 2025 and beyond. If you're ready to start or upgrade your point strategy for 2025, I've included referral links for all the cards I mentioned in the description below. Using these links doesn't cost you anything but helps support my channel and allows me to keep creating content like this. Remember that elevated offers and transfer bonuses that I've mentioned can change at any time, so make sure to get current information after watching my video. Before you go, let me know in the comments where you want to use your points to go in 2025. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.